Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the third tutorial class on analog communication and it will be presented by myself, Dr. Shruti Mondal. As you remember, in the previous class, we discussed the basic concept of modulation, need of modulation, and the amplitude modulation, where a low frequency message signal is embedded with a high frequency carrier signal. And some characteristic of this high frequency carrier signal, like amplitude, is modified according with the instantaneous value of the message signal. This is known as the amplitude modulation. Now, amplitude modulation have been classified into many type like DSB, SSB, VSB and ISB. We have already discussed the two type of amplitude modulation. Those are DSB-FC and DSB-SC. DSB, the name significance of the name DSB stand for that it consists of two frequency spectrum or frequency component. One is upper sideband and there is a lower sideband, and that's why you call it as double sideband. And the significance of the term FP and FC and SC is where the pilot carrier or separate uh, carrier component is present along with the modulated wave, that is called the FC or full carrier, and where the extra carrier component is absent, that is called the suppressed carrier. So that is the DSB-SC and DSB-SC. Moreover, we have also observed the spectrum and the time domain representation of DSB-FC and DSB-SC signal, and we have observed that the bandwidth requirement for the DSB-FC and DSB-SC is doubled compared to the bandwidth of the modulating signal. Now, in this class, we shall discuss single tone amplitude modulation, and we shall also discuss an alternative approach to calculate the modulation index. We already know that modulation index has been defined as a ratio of maximum amplitude of the message signal with the maximum amplitude of the carrier signal. Now, without using this formula, we can easily calculate the modulation index by simply observing the modulated wave that will be discussed in this class. Next, we shall also cover how to calculate the power content in the single tone and multiple tone DSB-SC AM. Now, what is multiple tone and what is single tone, that shall be discussed later. Next, we shall calculate the power efficiency, or how one and what is the power efficiency of modulation scheme. And after that, we shall discuss some numerical problems that will help you to understand the DSB-FC and DSB-SC amplitude modulation with better clarity. Okay, so coming to the first slide of our today's class, so single tone amplitude modulation. Now, the term, observe the term single tone. Single means one, tone means here frequency. So it is the single tone means it is the message signal where only one frequency is present. So basically one frequency means we consider a pure sinusoidal signal. So single tone signifies a pure sinusoidal message signal or baseband signal. Okay. So assume that message signal, single tone message signal, is defined as xt equal to Vm cos omega mt, where Vm is the maximum amplitude of the message. Moreover, we also assume the carrier signal as Ct, that is the A cos omega Ct, where A is the maximum amplitude of the carrier. Now, as per the definition of the modulation index, we can write mu equal to Vm by A, that implied Vm equal to mu into A. Now, substituting Vm equal to mu A in the earlier equation of xt, so we can write that xt equal to mu A into cos omega mt. Okay, so the equation for the DSB-FC can be written as, we already know that the ST DSB-FC or time domain representation of DSB-FC signal can be written as xt cos omega ct plus A cos omega ct. Clear? So by substituting xt equal to mu a cos omega mt in this equation, we get mu a into cos omega mt into cos omega ct plus a cos omega ct. Now by taking out mu a by 2, we get 2 cos omega mt into cos omega ct plus a cos omega ct. Now we can express this equation 2 cos omega m t into cos omega ct as cos omega c plus omega m t plus cos omega c minus cos omega mt as per the arithmetic formula. So we can write that st, or equation for the DSB-FC singleton modulation, singleton DSB-FC signal, is equal to mu a by 2 into cos omega c plus omega m t plus cos omega c minus omega m t plus a cos omega c t. So this is the time domain representation of singleton DSB-FC signal. Here you can observe that there are two frequency component in the first part of this equation, that is denote the sideband. So one frequency component is simply omega c plus omega m, and another is omega c minus omega m. So this denote the USB term, this denote the LSB term, and this term obviously corresponding to the carrier term. Okay, as we consider DSBFC, so obviously there will be some kind of pilot carrier. So that that is denoted by a cos omega ct. Clear? Okay. Now we want to find out the spectrum or frequency domain representation of singleton DSBFC signal. So to know the frequency domain representation, we need to do the Fourier transform of the corresponding singleton DSBFC equation. So we already know that the Fourier transform of a cos omega ct can be given by pi into a into del omega minus omega c plus del omega plus omega c. So where del omega minus omega c is nothing but an impulse with magnitude pi a located at omega c, and similarly this denote an impulse located at minus omega c with amplitude pi a. So by considering this equation and substituting all the corresponding term, or by converting all the cosine term in the corresponding Fourier transform, by using Fourier transform, we get s omega or Fourier transform of st as pi into mu a by 2 into del omega plus omega c plus omega m plus del omega minus omega c minus omega m. Now first, these two terms corresponding to the Fourier transform of cos omega c plus omega mt, and the next two part delta omega plus omega c minus omega m and del omega minus omega c plus omega m, this corresponding to the Fourier transform of the second part, second cosine term cos omega c minus omega mt, and after that this corresponding to the pilot carrier pi a into del omega minus omega c plus del omega plus omega c. Clear? So this is the Fourier transform of st, or singleton DSBFC signal. Okay, so where impulses are located at omega c plus omega m, omega c minus omega c plus omega m, and minus omega c minus omega m, and this related with the sideband whose amplitude are pi into mu into a by 2. Let's see the corresponding spectrum. In case of frequency domain representation, we plot omega along x-axis and s omega along y-axis. So here you can see that at omega c plus omega m and omega c minus omega m, there are two impulses whose amplitude are pi into mu a by 2. Okay, now you can see that we can say that this corresponding to the upper sideband and this impulse is corresponding to the lower sideband. Okay, similar to the in the negative axis, negative frequency axis, we can see that an impulse is located at minus omega c minus omega m and minus omega c plus omega m, and whose both amplitude are pi mu a by 2, and this denote the LSB and this denote the USB. And last one, this term, so an impulse located at omega c whose amplitude is pi a. So you can see that at omega c and minus omega c there is an impulse whose amplitude are pi a. So this is corresponding to the carrier. This corresponding to the carrier, and these are USB, LSB, USB, LSB. So this is the spectrum of single tone DSB-FC type A. You can see that here, as we are using single tone modulation, so from this curve or from this spectrum, we can easily observe that there is only single frequency exist in the sideband. Okay, so this is the spectrum, and remember that in real life scenario, most voice signals are multiple tone signal. That means there are different kind of frequency in the corresponding voice signal or message signal, because whenever I'm talking, maybe I'm sometime talking with the higher frequency, and maybe sometime I'm uh, talking with lower frequency. Okay, but why do we consider the single tone modulation? Because in laboratory, whenever do experiment, we can easily generate pure sinusoidal signal, and for better understanding we prefer single tone modulation, so that we can easily understand the over modulation, under modulation, or critical modulation, and we can easily observe the corresponding spectrum related with the single tone DSBFC. But in real life, the spectrum of any message signal, the spectrum is not like this, like not impulses. If it is pure sinusoidal, then there will be impulses, else the spectrum will be in different shape, that will be shown in the earlier class. Now coming to the next part, next topic, how to calculate modulation index without knowing the value of the amplitude of xt and carrier also. So basically this is the another process or another representation of modulation index. So let's consider single tone modulation DSBFC, and the equation can be represented by this: mu a into cos omega mt into cos omega ct plus a cos omega ct. Now taking out a cos omega ct as common from these two terms, we can get a cos omega ct into 1 plus mu cos omega mt. Okay, now let's define another two term, Vmax and Vmin. Here we consider, you can see that this is the under modulation scenario, and this one is the corresponding envelope of the modulated wave. Obviously this envelope is nothing but the message signal, as you already know that message signal is embedded in the envelope. Okay, now we define Vmax and Vmin. What is Vmax? Vmax means maximum amplitude of the envelope. That means from this point to this point, this is called the Vmax. Okay, and you can see that this is the lowest point of envelope, so obviously the Vmin is the minimum voltage of the envelope. So from this point to this point, that is the minimum voltage, Vmin. Okay, now consider here you can see that the maximum amplitude of cos omega mt is possible 1, and maximum amplitude of cos omega ct is also 1. So if you consider this scenario that the cos omega ct equal to 1 and cos omega mt is also 1, then obviously we get maximum value, because the minimum value of cos omega c and cos omega mt is minus 1. So when the value of cos omega t is maximum, obviously we get the maximum value of st, or maximum value of the corresponding voltage, that is nothing but the Vmax. So you can write that Vmax equal to a into 1 plus mu, by considering the fact that the maximum amplitude of cos omega ct is 1. Fine. Now minimum value of cos omega t is minus 1. So if you substitute this value in the earlier equation, so we get the minimum voltage of the envelope, so we get the V mean. So V mean can be represented by A equal to 1 minus mu. Okay, so you can write that V max equal to A into 1 plus mu, and V min equal to A into 1 minus mu. So if you take the ratio of V max by V min, we can get A into 1 plus mu by A into 1 minus mu. So from this equation, mu can be given by like this: Vmax minus Vmin divided by Vmax plus Vmin. So you can see that without knowing the value of maximum voltage of xt and the maximum voltage of the carrier signal, or maximum amplitude of the carrier signal, we can easily find out the value of the modulation index from by observing the modulated wave. Simply calculate the Vmax and Vmin from the CRO. Just we can get the value of mu. Okay, so easily it is basically very easy process. And uh, Another thing we should remember, that we have considered this equation for the under modulation scenario. So what will happen in case of critical modulation? So we know that in case of critical modulation, the two envelope will touch with each other. So here you can see that maximum voltage is remains same, Vmax, but the minimum voltage here will become 0. So here you can, if you substitute the value of Vmin equal to 0, so you can get the mu equal to Vmax by Vmax, that is 1. And that we already know that in case of critical modulation, the value of modulation index is 1. That satisfies that condition. Okay, now in second condition, that means over modulation, which is not desirable. So in case of over modulation, we know that these two modulation overlap with each other, and they will cross the corresponding axis, time axis. Okay, so here it is, it cross this axis, and this also cross the corresponding axis. That means this is the overlap area. So obviously envelope has been changed and the message has been distorted. Okay, so this is not desirable condition. Again, it is interesting to to observe that here Vmax is positive, but however, as the envelope cross the corresponding axis, if you want to find out the value of Vmin, that becomes the negative because it crossed the corresponding x-axis or t-axis. So here Vmin equal to from this point to this point. So that is the Vmin. Okay, so Vmin will be the negative. So Vmax is positive, but Vmin is negative. So if we give that type of value, so we can find out that value of mu will be greater than 1. So in that case, this will be Vmax plus Vmin, and this is Vmax minus Vmin. So mu will be greater than 1. So that is obviously over modulation. We know that for over modulation, the value of modulation index is greater than 1. Okay, so these are the three scenario for the calculation of modulation index by observing the maximum and minimum voltage of the envelope. Clear? I hope you have no problem. But if you have any kind of problem, please post them in the comment box. Now coming to the next topic, that is the how to calculate power in DSBFC AM. So our objective is to find out the power content in AM. So in case of DSBFC, we already know that there are two components. One is sideband, another is the carrier part. So obviously total power will be the carrier power plus sideband power. Okay, and moreover we know that sideband has been divided into the two part, USB and LSB. As sideband, USB and LSB are symmetric with each other with respect to carrier. You can see that this one is the USB and this one is the LSB, and both are the symmetric with carrier signal. So here you can see that this spectrum both contain the same information. Okay, so total sideband power has been divided into the sorry, divided into the two part, or two sideband, equally divided. Okay, now let's continue. So initially we want to find out the carrier power. So as we know, the any signal MT, the power of the corresponding signal can be calculated by 1 by t integration from 0 to t m square t into dt, where t is the time period of the corresponding signal. So here in case of carrier power, if we consider the sinusoidal or cosine signal, so the time period will be 1 by 2 pi, and we consider the carrier signal as a cos omega ct. So we substitute this, so it become a square cos square, sorry, 1 by 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi a square cos square omega ct into dt. Okay, so now cos square omega ct, it can be expressed by 1 plus cos 2 omega ct by 2. So we have written 1 by 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi square by 2 1 plus cos 2 omega c dt. So PC can be written as like this: 1 by 2 pi integration 0 to 2 pi a square t into dt, and similarly a square by 4 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi cos 2 omega c dt. And if we take out this corresponding integration, we will find that the integration value of the corresponding integration becomes 0. So ultimately the power of cosine signal become its amplitude square by 2. It should be remembered that for any kind of sinusoidal or cosine signal, the power of the corresponding signal will become the amplitude square by 2. So that is nothing but a square by 2. Clear? Now coming to the calculation of the sideband power, that is represented by PS. So PC is the corresponding carrier power and PS is the sideband power. So again, sideband power means xt cos omega c, that denote the modulated wave. So we can write that 1 by 2 pi from 0 to 2 pi xt cos omega ct whole square into dt, and become x square t cos square omega ct into dt, like this. So it become, if we again cos square, if we replace cos square omega ct by 1 plus cos 2 omega ct by 2, it will become ps equal to half into 1 by 2 pi from 0 to 2 pi x square t dt, and it will become half into 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi x square t cos 2 omega ct dt. Here you can see that cos 2 omega c. Okay, so this denote the higher frequency term. That means 2 omega c, that is means uh, very high frequency component. And in the later, when we shall observe that the in case of AM generation, a band pass filter has been used, and and this band pass filter is tuned at center frequency of omega c. That means the upper frequency or higher frequency will be filtered out. That means this portion will become 0. So what will you get? So PS become only half into 1 by 2 pi 0 into 2 pi x square t dt. Okay. So this is the ultimate sideband power. So this part denote the mean squared value of xt. So sideband power is nothing but half into mean squared value of xt, and it can be represented by half x square t mod. Okay. This sentence will be explained later in the upcoming class. We will see that a bandpass filter can be used so that we can get actual modulated wave. Okay, and for there higher order frequency is filtered out. Clear? Okay, fine. So we get the sideband power, total sideband power PS, and already told that this sideband power is equally divided into the USB and LSB. So P USB and P LSB equal to 1 by 4 root mean square value of xt. So 1 by 4 x square t mod. Okay. Now total power can be written as like pt equal to pc plus ps. So a square t plus half into x square t mod. So half a square plus x square by t x square t mod. So this is the corresponding expression for the total power content in the DSB FC signal. Okay. If there is no carrier term in the signal, so in that case, so total power is nothing but the sideband power. So that is the scenario for the DSBSC. So the total power for the DSBSC is only half x square t mod. Okay, clear? So this derivation is very important for you. Now the power efficiency calculation. So how can you calculate the power efficiency or transmission efficiency? So it is defined as the ratio of sideband power with the total power contributed to the sideband. So actual information is embedded in the sideband, but along with the sideband or along with the modulated wave, we are sending the carrier wave. So obviously some power has been wasted, so that's why we want to find out the corresponding efficiency. So efficiency is nothing but ps by pt into 100%. So transmission efficiency can be written as half x square t mod by half total power a square t x square t mod. Okay, so take by cancelling both half from the both part, so you get x square t mod by a square t plus x square t mod into 100%. So that is denoted by efficiency. Okay, now another thing, calculate the power efficiency for a singleton modulation. So here we want to find out an expression of power efficiency in term of modulation index. So in that scenario, consider the singleton modulation where xt is represented by a pure sinusoidal. So xt is Vm cos omega mt. So power of the message signal is nothing but Vm square by 2. As you already know that for the message sinusoidal or cosine signal, the power is nothing but the its amplitude square by 2. So its amplitude is Vm. So the power is corresponding power will be Vm square by 2. So just substituting this value, that means the power of the message signal in the earlier equation, we get Vm square by 2 by a square plus Vm square by 2. So ultimately we get Vm by a whole square, because if you want to find out the if you want to express the equation in term of mu, so we have to convert the equation like Vm by a equal to mu. So we just taking out a square from the both part. So Vm by a whole square by 2 by Vm by a whole square. So this is a mu square by 2 plus mu square into 100%. Okay, so this is the corresponding equation for the power efficiency. Now sometime it is we want to find out the maximum efficiency for the DSBFC signal. Okay, so for the maximum efficiency of the DSBFC signal, can we calculate is the when the modulation index is maximum. So we know the maximum allowable value for the modulation index is 1. So just substituting mu max equal to 1, so we get the 1 by 2 plus 1 into 100%, that means 33.3%. Okay, so the maximum efficiency for the DSB-FC signal is 33.33%. It is very important conclusion. It is important for the MCQ as well as the derivation part also. Okay, now sometime we want to find out, it has been given to prove that is for a singleton modulation, the corresponding formula to calculate the total power as Pt equal to Pc 1 plus mu square by 2. It is very simple. So we know that total power equal to Pc plus Ps. So Ps for the singleton modulation, we already know that Ps is Vm square by 2 or sideband power, message power. So Ps equal to Vm square by 2. So if we substitute Vm by mu into A, so Ps become mu square A square by 2. So moreover, the carrier power is a square by 2. So we get Pt equal to a square by 2 plus mu square a square by 2 by taking common from the both term a square by 2. So a square by 2 into 1 plus mu square by 2, and it become Pc into 1 plus mu square by 2. So hence proved. Simple. And sometime numerical problem is also given from this equation. So suppose for a particular problem, the equation for message signal and carrier signal has been provided. We want to find out the Pt. So in that scenario, we should calculate the Pc from a square by 2 and equation, and mu we want to find out and then calculate the corresponding modulation index, and after that just substitute those value in this equation and you get the total value. Clear? Now next part, power content in the multiple tone amplitude modulation. As you already told that real life signal consists of many frequency, but here we consider only multiple tone, but consider only two frequency. Later consider that two frequency has been presented in the corresponding xt. So xt is x1t plus x2t. So where this one is v1 cos omega 1t plus v2 cos omega 2t. So the corresponding modulated waves equation can be written as like st equal to a cos omega ct plus v1 cos omega 1t plus v2 cos omega 2t into cos omega ct. Okay, so st equal to a cos omega ct into 1 plus v1 by a cos omega 1t plus v2 by a cos omega 2t. As you already know that mu equal to v by vm by a. So here we define mu1 equal to v1 by a and mu2 equal to v2 by a. By substituting this value into the equation, so we get the corresponding equation of st as a cos omega ct into 1 plus mu into cos omega 1 t plus mu 2 cos omega 2 t. Okay, now let's calculate the sideband power. So sideband power is ps equal to half x1 square t mod plus half x2 square, sorry, x2 square t mod. So from here, just simply we know that as this one is the cosine signal, so value of the value of the mean square value of it is v1 square by 2. So ultimately we get v1 square by 4, and this value become v2 square by 2, so we get the v2 square by 4. So the sideband power is v1 square by 4 plus v2 square by 4, and pc simply a1 a square by 2. So total power is a square by 2 plus v1 square by 4 plus v2 square by 4, and so pt equal to a square by 2 plus mu1 square a square by 4 mu2 square a square by 4. So by if you take out this part by taking common a square by 2 common, so a square by 2 into 1 plus mu1 square by 2 plus mu2 square by 2. Okay, so we already know that this is nothing but pc, carrier power, so just substitute it pc, and it become 1 plus mu square plus mu2 square by 2. So it is similar to the earlier equation pc into 1 plus mu square by 2 by 2. So here we define mu as the effective modulation index for multiple tone modulation, where mu can be defined as root over mu1 whole square plus mu2 whole square, or this two term is nothing but mu square. So mu square is nothing but mu1 whole square, sorry, mu square equal to mu1 square plus mu2 square. So this is the power content in multiple tone modulation. If you use the 3, 4 or 5 frequency signal, so in that case mu will become mu1 square plus mu2 square plus mu3 square plus mu4 square or plus mu5 whole square. Clear? So it is very important for the derivation as well as the numerical problem also. Now coming to the variation of power with modulation index, how the percentage of how the carrier and sideband power is changed with respect to modulation index if we make constant of total transmitted power. Okay, so if the transmitted power is constant, so whenever the modulation index has been increased, in that case we can observe that carrier power is gradually decreasing and sideband power gradually increasing. Okay, so this is the corresponding graph where the variation of power with modulation index has been showing. So why? Answer is why. So if we the total power is fixed, so mu has been increasing. Why? The definition is xt max by a. So to increase the value of mu, obviously we need to increase the value of xt max. Xt max related with the message signal, that means side power is gradually increasing. Now as the sideband power is gradually increasing, to make the total transmitted power constant, obviously carrier power will gradually decrease. That's why we get this kind of graph. Now coming to the two numerical problem that will help you to understand the overall discussion on DSB FCM and DSB SC signal with better clarity. Let's consider first consider the following problem. Like a modulated signal with 10 into sine 2 pi 10 to the power 3t is used to modulate DSB-FCM by a carrier 20 sine 2 pi into 10 to the 40. Determine percentage of modulation, frequency present in the modulated signal, amplitude of the sideband, sideband power, carrier power, total transmission power, efficiency and bandwidth. Okay, so this is the modulating signal. You can see that. So xt is 10 into sine 2 pi into 10 to the power 3t. So fm or omega fm is nothing but 10 to the power 3 and omega m 2 pi into 10 to the power 3. So we consider fm equal to 10 to the power 3 hertz. Okay, and the corresponding amplitude is 10 volt. Corresponding amplitude is 10 volt. And for similarly for the carrier signal, the ct is 2 t into sine 2 pi 10 to the power 4 into t. So fc or carrier frequency is 10 to the power 4 hertz, and vm, sorry, this one is the, sorry, this will be a and this will be vm. For modulating signal this will be vm, and for the carrier signal this will be a. So I think there is some kind of mistake, sorry for that. So A will be 10 volt, and sorry, okay, sorry. So A will be 20 volt, A will be 20 volt, and VM will be 10 volt. Clear? So again, I'm sorry for this mistake. Okay, so amplitude of the carrier is 20 volt, and frequency of the carrier is 10 to the power 4 hertz. Observe that carrier frequency is greater than the modulating signal frequency. Fine. Okay. uh, bas. So modulation index, so that if modulation index means VM by A. So VM is 10 and A is 20, so the modulation index value is 20.5, or percentage of modulation is 50%. Next question is the frequency present in the modulating signal. We know that there are two sideband. One is upper sideband and lower sideband, and it's corresponding to the omega c plus omega m and omega c minus omega m. It is quite similar. Omega c plus omega m is fc plus fm and fc minus fm. Okay, so FUSB, or frequency of upper sideband, is fc plus fm, and FLSB is fc minus fm. So 10 plus 1 is the upper sideband, that is 11 kilohertz, and 10 minus 1, 9 kilohertz, that is the lower sideband. Now amplitude of the sideband, this is simply from calculated from the formula mu a by 2. So 0.5 into multiplied by 20 by 2. So this is the 5 volt. Sideband power, we already know that sideband power is half into x square t mod. So x square t is nothing but Vm square by 2. So this is nothing but 10 square by 4, that is 25 watt. Similarly, carrier power formula is a square by 2. So 20 square by 20, 20 square by 2. Sorry, again there is some kind of mistake. So this will be 200 watt. So this is the sideband power, this is the carrier power. So total power will be 200 plus 25, that is the uh, uh, 225, and this can be also calculated from the formula Pc into 1 plus mu square by 2. So just substitute the value Pc into corresponding value, zero point 0.5 whole square by 2 by 2, so that is 225 watt. Next, the efficiency, the corresponding formula is the mu square by 2 plus mu square. So just if you substitute them, we get the corresponding efficiency value is 11.11 percentage. Bandwidth, no, 2 into fm. Bandwidth for the corresponding to fm, DSBFC is the 2 fm. So 2 into 2 into 1 kilohertz, fm value is fm is 1 kilohertz, so this value become 2 kilohertz. Okay, next problem. So a certain transmitter radiate 10 kilowatt power with carrier unmodulated, and 12 kilowatt when the carrier is sinusoidally modulated AM. Calculate the modulation index. Next, if another sine wave corresponding 50% modulation is transmitted simultaneously, determine the total transmitted power. So what is given? Here it is written that certain transmitted radiate 10 kilowatt power with carrier unmodulated. That means this is nothing but carrier power PC, and 12 kilowatt power with the carrier sinusoidally modulated. So PT is 12 kilowatt for the first case, and when the another sinusoidal signal is modulated, that means in second scenario mu 2 become zero point 0.5. So these data are provided to us. Okay, so now first of all let's calculate the modulation index for the first scenario. That means for 10 kilowatt and 12 kilowatt, what will be the value of mu? So PT equal to PC plus 1 plus mu 1 square by 2. Just substitute value 12 and 10, and we get the value mu 1 equal to 0.6324. And when the another sinusoidal wave is present, so in that case we can consider it as the multiple tone modulation. Okay, so in that case, overall modulation index or effective modulation index as mu, which is nothing but root over of mu 1 square plus mu 2 square. So uh, what will be the value? So root over 0.6324, that is the value of mu 1, and it is already given that 50% modulation index in the second case. So that means mu 2 value is zero point 0.5, so 0.5 whole square, and it value become 0.8. So the total transmitted power in that case, PT equal to PC. PC becomes same. PC is the carrier power. So 10 into 1 plus 0.8 whole square by 2. So that is nothing but 13.2 kilowatt. Okay. So this is the total transmitted power for the multiple tone modulation, where the two modulation uh, has been provided. One is for 0.6324, another for zero point 0.8. Now coming to the last topic, some advantages and disadvantages of DSB FCM. So basically, for DSB FCM, it is very easy process and cheaper process. So cost of this DSB FC system is very low. But here the required bandwidth is very high, because required bandwidth is 2B if you consider the message signal whose bandwidth is the B. And obviously, as there is no, there is extra pilot carrier that is presented in the modulated wave, obviously large power requirement for the transmitted, that means maximum power has been wasted. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of DSB FCM. So now coming to the conclusion part. So we have studied the single tone amplitude modulation, alternative approach to calculate the corresponding modulation index, and power content in the single tone and multiple tone DSBSC and DSBFC. And obviously again we again calculating the power efficiency for the uh, define the power efficiency for the modulation. Okay, so these are the references. So if you have any problem, please post them into YouTube or the Google Classroom, and I will be very happy if you like the corresponding video in the YouTube, so that I am able to understand that you are actually following or actually understand the video. Thank you.